You will not find difficult choices, action sequences or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through location along with the plot. This is a walking simulator?
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Okay. Dude, can you just let me warm up the NAS drive so I can actually perhaps record this if it's cool? I just need to go in here, first this computer, and click one of the NAS drives, click a little bit around like this. And there we go, now it's loading up the NAS. Oh god! I thought I was still in the menu! What the hell? I was fucking sitting waiting. Oh my god, that's fucked up, dude. Hang on, NAS drive, hurry up. Are you ready? Are you ready? There we go. During the game you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey, others will reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the Elder sign. You can also access all the found facts later. They will be available in the main menu.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Why, dude? Why would you do that? Did the internet go out?
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
No, you're just American, if anything. Fentanyl addiction and shit like that. Actually, you're a pussy. Oh, my back hurts. I'm gonna have some fucking fentanyl. Pussy.
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Okay. Morphine entered into use in the 19th century and was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War and World War I. It was also sold without restriction up to 1914. Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh, I have a light headache. Morphine. Oh, honey, the children isn't going to sleep. Morphine. Oh, you won't have a good time? Morphine. Dude, America has always had a problem with this shit then. Fuck, I fell in some stairs and I just powered to the car and passed out that one time. With a chip in my leg or whatever. And the foot joint. So morphine would be good actually, kinda nice, right? I tried codeine and that's fucking sweet as fuck, dude. No wonder people get fucked in the head by the, you know, fucking drugs, man. Morphine became popular after the invention of the hypodermic syringe around 1854. Frederick Struner, who first isolated the substance, originally named it morphium, after Morpheus, the Greek god associated with dreams. Is that true? That's pretty cool facts. At the time when Dagon was published, morphine abuse known as soldier's disease already posed a big problem in the United States. Pretty cool.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Oh no, you gonna get fucking torpedoed by some fucking Nazis, dude?
The Great War
Oh,
was
it's
then at its
Japan.
very beginning,
Never mind.
and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation.
Wait a second. Is this... Am I... the fucking Kaiser Reich, man? Are we the baddies? Wait a second, are we the baddies?
So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Oh, they shot us down and we got captured on a German vessel. The Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 15th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids, and also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. Is the Huns a good faction in Age of Empires? They are the one that spams units, right? No, which faction is that? Oh, they don't need houses, it's those fuckers then. Wait, is that the people that can spam fucking units then? During World War I, the British used the words Huns as a synonym for Germans in order to emphasize their brutality. However, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops on the 27th July 1900 before they embarked to China. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated. No quarter will be given. Prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls into your hands is forfeit. Just like 1,000 years ago, the Huns under their king Attila made a name for themselves. One that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. The refusal to take prisoner was clearly a breach of law and custom of war adopted during the First Hague Convention of 1899. But they took us in!
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Stupid liberals.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Wait, so this is the real story that Lovecraft wrote?
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator.
How do you even know that?
Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
How do you calculate longitude on the ocean? Time? And speed? How did they do it back in the days? Did they even have radar? Oh, yeah, we're just south of the Philippines or some shit. Great. Wait, what would you... Oh. Yeah.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
But then the tentacles came out of the ocean. I was slowly running out of water. I became delirious.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept.
Oh.
Its details I shall never know.
Oh.
For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Oh. Oh!
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
Undulations, monotonous undulations. Monotonous undulations.
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
It's been an oil tanker accident somewhere, man. Poor fucking squid, dude.
Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished. For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish, and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing, and nothing in sight, save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Yeah, come on, be a little positive here. At least you have seafood. Or you will die, you know, because you don't have any clean water. Oh. As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths. Yeah. So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might. Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things. Got a halibut here. For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. What the fuck is that? As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue. Let us touch you, Robert! Let us touch you! Tentacle porn! Yay, hentai! No, you wait. On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal. Am I only gonna... Is it a click adventure game?
All day I forged steadily westward,
fuck is that?
guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
Okay. Anything else I can read about? Oh no! Help me, I'm stranded! No! You fucking sperm whale, piece of blue whale, or whatever the fuck you are.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
Scary.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Yeah, it seems pretty high, dude.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill. I know not why my dreams were so wild that night.
Probably you're getting delirious, man.
But ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again.
Okay.
And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Do it. Oh.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me.
But this was 10 times worse.
But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine. I felt myself on the edge of the world.
Is he a flat earther as well, Lovecraft?
Peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night. Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Perpendicular.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent, whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual. Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Yeah, you should probably wait until the sun comes up, man. It's an obelisk.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself. But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express. For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young.
All hail the cube. All hail the cube. All hail this cubic rectangular obelisk. It is no GameCube, and it's no toaster or oven or any other cubular object. No, it is the cube, the rectangular cube, the one and only, the one that will bring us peace and despair and death and love.
Whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Yeah. Ah!
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm. And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
Cool.
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me, and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books. Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes,
That's Cthulhu in the
eels,
middle, you see him?
octopi, crustaceans,
He's
mollusks,
adorable.
whales, and the like.
Hello! Look at me!
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world, but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later work, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City, journals and characters' notes, the Shadow Out of Time, the Haunter of the Dark, Iceland emerging from the sea, the Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies. Migu in The Whisperer in Darkness. It is also considered considered the original of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also concludes in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order to not spoil the ending. Alright.
Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men, though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint, grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
Cool. The top one looks a bit goofy.
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall.
Did he have penises?
Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their seeming background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself. I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born. Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me.
Something's gonna come out of the water, dude.
Then, suddenly, I saw it.
Where?
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters. It darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith, about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the sloping cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little. I believe I sang a great deal, and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
What the fuck?
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters.
It's super loud, man!
Notes. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital.
Oh god. Oh no. San Francisco is almost as bad as Los Angeles. Except that they shit on the streets. Oh no, please. Put me back in the sea, please. I don't belong here. Oh no, the true horror is just to be good. Ah!
Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Dream of Californication.
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing.
Did he have universal health care back in the days? Wait, the military is probably paying for this.
Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
The journalist. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915 he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which includes political and social commentary, poetry, short stories and literal criticism written by him and other authors. Howard was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticism to heart, which resulted in his decision to step away from writing poetry and consider it on weird fiction again. For the first time since his teenage years, Dagon published in 1917 one of the short stories written during that period. In this example, excerpts from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than the Conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments and the proper time take advantage of their more altruistic and less astute contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. No country is or can ever be above warfare until the basic impulses of human animal shall have a miraculous change. True, I guess. That's pretty true. The only problem is that he didn't take nuclear weapon into consideration because those didn't, exist back then. Dude! Do you guys realize how lucky we were to have the World War II at that particular time? The timing of World War II was just perfect for America to nuke the lost country. They just got that shit ready. They just nuked that portion of time just to prove how powerful nukes are to create that fucking vacuum that we have today. That's fucked up. Yeah, but the Nazis fucking died because they were dumb assholes. They just kept building bigger tanks and shit. Fucking idiots. Didn't have radar. Fucking idiots. What was that fucking fat Nazi called that ruled the Air Force? Göring? Didn't he say that he was gonna buy a UK radio set because he knew that would at least work? He also cross-dressed. Yeah, I mean, then most of the Nazi leadership fucking idiots. I have to say that the smartest man was definitely... Wait, actually, no. No. Patton was probably the smartest general, right? He just wanted to get shit done. Choose your word carefully. Patton got shit done, right? Except when he smashed that soldier with shell shock. Oh yes, I was about to say Rommel. I don't know if that was... It was Rommel, he conspired against the Nazis, didn't he, in the end? Isn't it sad? Technically, Rommel had these stupid fucking Italians to take care of, and Patton had these stupid fucking British to take care of.
Shut the fuck.
Oh shit, let's continue. Help! Oh, thank God. This might be a Swedish prison that will come with free food any second. Oh God, that's gonna be super nice. It's only gonna cost $20 to be here, this entire visit. What happened to my body? Oh no. They amputated my body. Oh shit. Swedish prison. It is pretty nice though to be in Swedish hospital. I stayed one night at the Swedish hospital. It cost me $20. But then I forgot to pay it, so I had to pay a little extra.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist.
Ethnologist. That doesn't sound good. That sounds really bad.
And amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Yeah, nurses were cute too. Oh, what's over here?
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
Is it the Necronomicon over there? August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company, Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works after his death, he's surrounded by numerous controversies. One of the most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works were often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. Who actually put down H.P. Lovecraftian? Like, I swear to God, in the 90s and forward, we made our own view set of that for the sake of videos and games and shit. I'm pretty certain Lovecraft's work has been changing a lot many times. It was also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. So he was the first one who actually did that shit. That's pretty smart though, making an entire new genre around it. Where's my money? I deserve royalties. Oh, that's nice, I guess.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Sounds good, dude. Take some more morphine before you go.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm, a mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed.
It's gonna be a big monster swimming under the boat.
Worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Dude, that would be sick, honestly.
The end is near. I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
Take the window instead. Ah, shit. Jump head first, dude.
It shall not find me. God, that hand! The window! The window!
Go! Ah!